Welcome everyone. Today we're here with Ryan Zullo from Alliance Gator.
Hey Jason.
Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you again.
Today we're going to talk a little bit about the Xtreme Edge, which is the edge restraint we used on the project.
Absolutely. Xtreme Edge by Alliance Gator is our concrete edge solution for multiple installs, but specifically open graded. We've got our products packed with 3D microfiber mesh, which gives it a continuous support matrix through the install. It's made with high performance polymers for added strength, and two types of cement, Jason, one for faster curing and one that gives it 2 to 3 times extra strength. And as well, it's manufactured with a number 9 granite stone, which is going to be more angular and have more locking capacity.
Awesome. So concrete edge restraints, it's really the go-to way of using an edge restraint on an open graded base build,
becoming
right?
much more popular these days with the uptick in open graded or hybrid installs. Traditional plastic edge or aluminum edge restraints, they're not going to do the same job. That nail's not going to bite or bond into that open graded material. So the concrete edge restraint is really the ultimate solution for open grade installs.
So let's talk a little bit about the installation.
Sure, yeah.
You guys mixed it up in a wheelbarrow,
Yep.
and then what happened?
So yeah, we mix it out. We have everything in that bag you need. We just add the water we say on the bag, mix it up. It's gonna have a really nice consistency that makes it really easy to trowel. But before that, we wanna slightly undermine the paver, kind of give it some space for the edging to create a shelf for that paver or slab to sit on to give it a bit more strength.
And there's one other detail. So I've been on a lot of sites. I see, and I also recommend the use of geogrid when you're using concrete edge restraint. So if you run about a 2 to 3 foot wide geogrid down the edge of the driveway, so that you get the weight of the pavers holding on, and then you tie that right up into the concrete edge restraint, you kind of create a little bit of a tie back.
Absolutely.
But on this job, a little different because we use DriveCel. So what we did here was we took a shop vac and vacuumed out 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep of the bedding material in the DriveCel, and we tied that in with the concrete edge restraint. So the concrete edge restraint was actually sitting right inside the DriveCel.
Yeah, so the extra benefit of the Alliance Gator Xtreme Edge sitting inside that drive grid cell, incorporated with the aggregate, and then still undermined the paver and created that shelf to sit on. With this product hitting over 12,000 PSI strength in combination with all the benefits you're getting from the quality Unilock pavers and slabs, and then the DriveCel also, you're gonna have a really strong, successful install for a very long time.
Yeah, I agree. I think the end result is like a bulletproof driveway.
I think so.
Hey everyone, today I'm joined by Dave Maxwell from Romex Canada. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about Romex?
Yeah, so to give you a really high-level view of what Romex is we're a 40-year-old company based out of Cologne, Germany. We started as a floor coatings company, and then what we found out is with the resin technologies we're using is that it binds filler sands and aggregates. So about 30 years ago, that's where the permeable hardscape division side started. In that, we're now distributed in over 27 different countries. We're using 15 different products. Now, it sounds like a lot, but the main thing you want to think of is that we have 3 different product lines. So permeable bedding, permeable jointing, and permeable gravel binding.
So let's talk about the product choices for the driveway, because I know that's part and parcel to like a really important first decision. Can you walk us through the decision making? And I know Romex is very keen on having the contractor to choose the right product.
So with every project, we always ask that you call before, even call when you install as well. The reason being is because we have 7 different products to choose from, especially when it comes just to the jointing, which is what we were using only on this project for the driveway. What we had though is a driveway section and a pedestrian section, or a walkway we'll call it. So with that being said, what we always look at is what's your paver type, mainly looking at what your joint width. And then the other thing we're looking at is what's that intended structural load capacity. So in the situation over here on the right, we were looking at a vehicular use. So that's why we selected what is the Fugensand used with the D7000 joint strengthener.
So let's walk through the installation of the Fugensand and the D7000.
When we started with the driveway, what we looked at was obviously that joint width. We knew it was going to be a driveway vehicular application. So that's why we selected the Fugensand with the Romex D7000. The Fugensand is a dry sand application install, so like your typical polymeric. However, this one is permeable, which no other product is on the market. And then we use the D7000 after you do the installation of the sand, which is actually strengthening the joints to give it a resin grout-like feel, which comes with all the maintenance benefits, but also the durability benefits that we speak about. And the big main reason why we use it for the driveway is because it allows that deflection and give without breaking off the pavers, which is ultimately what we wanted with that driveway application.
Right, so it still remains a little bit flexible.
Correct.
And then why did we choose EcoFine for the walkway, the Umbriano?
Yeah, so the reason why we selected the EcoFine for this one is because it's a little bit tighter joint. The Umbriano is what we like to call a little bit more of a finickier paver, because when we use resin products, there is a chemistry involved that sometimes with certain aggregate types or concrete or whatever you want to call it, it's going to have what we might call like a resin enhancement. Some clients don't like it, however it will dissipate. But the instance of the EcoFine, there is no resin enhancement. So that's why we selected it with the Umbriano and based on the joint width and the fact that it's pedestrian rating as well. So going back to that structural load capacity ratings, super easy to install because it is a pre-mixed bucket. Just simply take it to site, cut the bag, wet the surface, drop it in, squeegee it, broom it. So that means no compactors, no leaf blowers, no extra equipment like you would say with your dry sand installs or even mortar grout situation.
So Fugensand, more of a traditional poly sand installation, dry, sweep it in, compact, top it up, and then you're adding the D7000 to strengthen the joints, makes it a bit more maintenance friendly, pressure washable. EcoFine's a wet install. So if you're looking at the forecast, another thing to consider, especially late in the year, early in the year, want to look for nice dry sunny days for this installation here. And for the EcoFine, it doesn't have to be a dry sunny day, it could be a little bit of rain.
Yeah, like we tend to think of resin sands as a little bit more friendlier for your forecasting, which is great for contractors because there's nothing worse than when they want to wrap a job up, get the jointing done onto the next one, invoice that out. So with that being said, the resin products are great because you need a surface temperature of 5 degrees and up, and then it can be done in a light precipitation. So what that means is you're not using the hose the whole time to wet the surface and wet the product to transport it. Instead, it's being wet with the rain that's coming down, squeegee it in. The only trick here is, and obviously we'll tell you this when we're on site doing the free installer training, is that you want to make sure you're getting those little sands, little fleckles that can be left on the surface area that's usually done with the brooming. When it's wet, you want to kind of avoid that because your brooms will get all mucked up. Instead, you just want to make sure you come back, sweep it once it's dry, and then you're completely done. But this gives the advantage to contractors of not always sending their guys home instead.
Yeah, great product for the shoulder seasons when weather's a little bit harder to predict.
Yep, because the big thing we want to think about with polymeric sands is, if we're being truthful, it's ideal between, let's call it late spring, early fall, where instead this is really going to open up that window for installations. Both have their great usages, as we talked about, from structural load capacity ratings to those joint widths. So really we're giving you 7 different products that range in all different types of solutions and applications to make sure it gets done right.
Amazing. Well, thanks again for joining us. I just wanted to mention that all the Romex products are available through our dealer network. And if you have any further questions, you can reach out to your Unilock territory manager. Thanks again, Dave.
Yeah, thank you.